Hey y'all, hey, what's up, mamas? I hope that y'all are having a good evening and that you are hopefully experiencing some sort of relief from the long day. I know I was very busy today and am trying to get settled in, but I'm here. If you don't know me, my name is Muffy Mendoza. I'm the founder of Brown Mamas, and on here tonight because, as you all know, there has been a recent cut to SNAP benefits, which is the supplemental nutrition. I don't know what the AMP stands for. We'll figure that out later. We will figure that out later. But food stamps, y'all know food stamps. They have been cut. There are a lot of families who already during the month of October have not received their benefits, and there will be even more families during the month of November who won't receive their benefits. I do not proclaim to know everything, and that is why I reached out to some of my sisters in community and asked them to come through to help us center ourselves in this moment, to understand what is happening, and also to get some resources to help us to understand how to navigate this situation. I know a lot of the women in the Brown Mamas community are working class moms. They are moms living in poverty. There are moms who may even be experiencing that cliff effect where you're just at the cusp of maybe getting a little bit of food stamps. And now we have a situation where people are not going to be receiving the things that they need in the next 30 days, but hopefully it doesn't go to the next 60 days. So I just want to start off by having everybody introduce themselves and then we'll go from there. So thank y'all for coming on. And if y'all can just introduce yourselves and say who y'all are and what organization you represent and why you're here, I think people would appreciate that.
I can go first. My name is Tamara Dixon. I'm your community manager for Pittsburgh Brown Mamas. I am here as I always want to support moms and bridging the gap between moms and organizations so that we can stay as present and mindful as possible with current events.
Hi, I am Ayana Bridges. I am the owner and founder of the Birthing Huts, and I am here because I am, as an individual as well as an organization, looking for tangible solutions to provide the community in a time of need. And I'm also a mom who did at one time utilize SNAP benefits for me and my children, so I understand the ramifications and the need for having access to food.
Hi, I'm Brandy Allen. I'm a mom, I'm a doula, I'm an educator, I'm a nutritionist, and I'm here on behalf of myself. I'm here on behalf of my students, my community, and I'm just really here so that way we can make sure that we can help you guys and figure out different solutions, immediate solutions, long term solutions to make sure that this doesn't have a ripple effect and affect us any longer than it needs to.
Hi, good evening. I'm Jada Sherrill, Chief Executive Officer at Healthy Start. I'm also a mom, member of the Brown Mamas community, and I'm here, as has already been said, to try to identify and support tangible solutions to support our mamas. Much of the funding that Healthy Start receives as an organization has the potential to be impacted by state and federal budget cuts, SNAP and beyond. When we think about Medicaid cuts, WIC cuts, cuts to federally funded grant programs, cut to state grant programs that provide behavioral health, doula support, all of that. We don't want to see any of that happen. We want to be able to navigate what that may look like with as little impact to not only the moms and babies and families that we serve, but also our staff who represent the community, who are a lot of them brown mamas. So highly respect being able to be in this space and certainly want to be a part of finding some solutions.
I'm
Ebony, can
assuming.
you introduce yourself?
Okay. Yep. I was going to say, I'm assuming it's my turn. I came in a little late. I'm sorry. And I'm just trying to make sure I follow the what's happening. So it's introduction. My name is Ebony Evans, Ebony Lunsford Evans. I like Ebony Evans a lot better. I am an urban farmer, an educator, and a mom, a community person. And I'm just in this. I went from receiving SNAP benefits to accepting SNAP benefits as an urban farmer and store owner. And I am here to help offer like solutions to work together to help everyone understand that there are urban farmers out here to lean on and to just help provide whatever uh, food resources that an education um, that I can to help keep our community in a safe space. So yeah, I'm just here to help offer any solutions and work together to find to put together a plan so that we can help our community.
So I do just want to level set with the community because I like to try to be transparent with everybody and let everybody know like we know where we are politically, socially in this environment, but I don't think that none of us were ready or thinking that it would go to this extent, to where people are actually losing life saving supports. So I want to level set with our audience and let y'all know, like everybody here has said, most of us have received SNAP benefits at some point in our lives. Most of us have received TANF benefits at some point of our lives. We've lived in the communities. We are a part of the community. So when you're looking at the women who are on this screen, who are a part of this live, we are not talking to you up here. Like we're talking to you on a very level set of having had these same problems. And some of us may even right now be being affected by these problems. So, this is not a high level conversation. This is an eye level conversation. I want Tamara to just lead us in a moment of mindfulness. But the first thing I want to say before we go there is to just be mindful of what you are consuming. I want everybody to be mindful that every post you see on social media, every news report, everything you consume is trying to hook your attention into a certain frequency. And we need to be careful what frequencies we allow to consume us. We want to be educated, we want to be informed, but we do not want to incite riots. We do not want people walking around confused and hectic. And we want to try to operate from a space of community abundance, knowing that we live in a state of excess. The United States is a country of excess. Everybody has extra. So if we devote ourselves to pitching in, if we devote ourselves to helping out, if we devote ourselves to actually being in community, there are solutions. Like just because outside entities cannot support us does not mean that we are in a dire straits. We are certainly in a situation that we should not have to be in as residents of the quote unquote free world. But we absolutely have the ability as a community to pull together, to figure things out, and to support one another. So I'm going to pass the mic to Tamara, and we just need to center ourselves just a little bit before we pop in.
All right. Again, my name is Tamara, and I want everyone, even us on the call, is just to take a minute to check in with our bodies, because we're not just carrying our stuff, we're also carrying the community, right? We're carrying the day. You might have carried the week, the month, and just haven't taken a pause. So if you are in a place where you can sit back, sit up, and I want us and the mamas to just pause, to remind ourselves of the things that are in our control versus the things that are not. In our control right now is us showing up. In our control right now is us being able to be present. We have our senses. We have the ability to use technology to mass communicate as things shift. We have the ability to be in community, and not everyone has a community where they can come in and be vulnerable. I'm going to ask everyone to take like 3 deep breaths according to your breath pattern, because some people will say deep breaths and they want you to do this expansive breath. And if you had a rough day, you might be like, I'm just trying to breathe. So I invite you to join me as I take 3 deep breaths, and that's how I remind myself that I'm human. I don't have to have a cape. And looking at the screen reminds me of that I am not in this alone, and we are not in this alone. So, my first deep breath, when I'm breathing in, I'm thinking about all the beautiful possibilities of solutions and just standing in solidarity. And I'm exhaling fear, and I'm exhaling it to the point where it feels as if I'm pushing it away, if I'm pushing it out with the leaves that are falling in Pittsburgh. And I'm going to take another deep breath in, reminding that I am worthy of my basic human rights. And I'm going to push it out that I am alone, because that is not true. I am not alone. And I invite you to take this last deep breath and name whatever it is for yourself, whether it's being present, authentic, cared for. Breathing in, and as you exhale, exhale what is something that does not serve you in this moment. So I invite you all to join in a way that's comfortable for you all, whether that's your couch, your car, your bathroom, your living room, your basement, where you can take a moment so you can absorb what you need to for yourself, however that looks right now as a mom, as a community member, right? And then be intentional, remembering that we are here because we want to have solutions and not fear. Fear is natural, but there are 6 of us even on this call on the screen, but 6, including every person we're connected to, builds an incredible village. And Muffy, do you want to start or?
Yep. Thank you, Tamara. Appreciate your presence. Okay, so we're just going to start by just saying why this is happening. I know it's a lot of, I don't want to go off with too much political jargon, but I do want our moms to have a baseline of just understanding why this is happening. I'm pretty sure we can guess a bunch of stuff, but I'm just putting it out there. Who has an explanation? Who has some understanding that they can share with us?
Okay, not all at once. I'll go ahead and I'll go first. From my understanding, we are currently experiencing a discontinuation of public assistance programs due to the fact that the 2 parties are currently attempting to compromise on certain legislative that they would like to be pushed within the House. And because Republicans and Democrats are not looking to agree on certain decisions, the president has taken upon himself to put what he would consider Democratic programs on hold until Democrats start to agree with the agenda that the Republicans have. But that's my understanding.
And I believe, I don't know if anybody knows this, but I believe there was also something about the Pennsylvania budget not necessarily being passed. So there were some people that did not receive benefits during the month of October. So there's also that coming into play. I think what's important that we understand right now as mothers, because I've seen a lot of the rhetoric on social media, is that this is not your fault. Like, you did not do this. This is not because you didn't have a job. This is not because, you didn't show up correctly politically. This is not because Black women did anything. What we know for sure about the most recent major election is that Black women voted as a block. 92% of Black women voted within the interest of Black women. So, I think what's most important that our communities understand is that there is a political process at bay that we should all get involved in, but it is not our fault. Like, don't let anybody shame you into thinking that you could have done more, you could have done better to further, prevent yourself from being in this situation if you are currently being affected. Um, Now, having said that, I think it is important that as women, as mothers, as caregivers, as relationship builders, that we do get involved in our political process, because there is certainly opportunity here for us to do that and to begin to think more strategically about the people that we put in office, not just on a national level, but on a local level, and really thinking about, how have those folks how have those folks benefited us? So elections are coming up in November, in the next 2 weeks. So we really need to be thinking strategically about how we're coming to the table and how we are showing up, because these are our issues. And if we're not there, then the question is, who is there? And are the people who are there, who are voting, who are showing up as a part of the political process, are they voting in our favor? Are they showing up in our favor? Or are they showing up against us? So I think that's really important that while we know this isn't our fault and there is no shame or guilt to go around, there is certainly opportunity here. So wanted to just next talk about some of the things that are currently being done in community to try to help us to navigate. I know Ayana and Brandy are doing something soon coming up, so wanted to kind of give y'all the platform to be able to talk about that.
Thank you, Muffy. Everybody on this chat right now, we all, regardless of what we do or what aspect, we're providing education. So myself and Ayana, with this event, not only do we want to provide nutrition ed, we want to make sure that we're collaborating with people like Farmer Girl Ed to make sure that people not only know, what to eat, how to grow it, how to sustain themselves. We're really working on an immediate response. A lot of people, like you said, didn't get their benefits this month already, but also there's been instances throughout this whole year where the skimming scam took multiple people's food stamps and then they cut it federally where they could replace it. So people were scanning their card, people were stealing the stamps, and the government at first was replacing them. After I think a month or two of that, they stopped it. So we have women who are literally 8-9 months out of the year they haven't received benefits because at the beginning of the year they're taking them. There's hiccups going on right now, of course, with the shutdown. So we're trying to replace an immediate fix. Some people just need a meal sometimes because there's a lot of things going on the internet, and a lot of people are speaking from, I don't want to say not an educated response, but they're just biased and they're, like, oh, well, you should be able to feed yourself. And it's like, here, neither there. It's like people need to eat, kids need to eat. I'm like a really emotional person, and that hurts like me to the core, which is another reason why I founded We Cook, We Eat, that some people can't eat. Like, people are houseless, they can't eat. The event that we're hosting on November 8th at the Cohatch and Shady Side will provide a soup dinner. We're going to have all sorts of different soups, desserts, charcuterie, but we're also going to have produce boxes, and we're also going to have meals that people can take home. So like frozen soups and different things that they're able to sustain themselves at least for a few days or a week or so until we get to, again, the next community partner doing something. This is a time where we're really all going to have to work together. Like we all work together, but this is it. Like we're in the spotlight and we're going to have to work even harder than usual, unfortunately.
Thank you, Brandy. So I guess I'll just reiterate what she stated. So with our event on November 8th, we are going to have it at the Shady Side Cohatch, which is going to be located on 5428 Walnut Street. And the event is going to be from 3 to 6 p.m. So we are having a series. So this is going to be an event that we have every month. So the spring. And our event, we are going to provide ready hot meals for family to consume at our event, but we're also going to have prepackaged frozen soups for families to take home. There will be a variety of soups that families can take home, as well as boxes with fresh produce and shelf stable items that they can maintain in their cupboard and pantry. But along with the items that families are going to receive, like Brandy stated, education is a very big component of both of our organizations. So we will be teaching families how to make soups on a friendly budget, as well as how to make fresh homemade baby food, baby cereal, and other things of that purpose. With understanding we are taking care of brown mamas, we understand that nutrition is very important during pregnancy, during postpartum and breastfeeding, as well as early development stages of our infants. So we want to make sure that we do cover all bases when it comes to having nutrient dense meals for our families that are prepared. So again, this is something we are going to be doing on a continuous basis. So we really would like to have support from the community because we are providing for the community.
I just wanted to add really quick to being, a person who has a lot of allergies. We're making sure that we're being very thoughtful of the different diets. So we will have gluten free, we'll have vegan, we'll have vegetarian, we'll have kosher, we'll have halal. Basically, we want to make sure that everybody can eat. That, would be terrible that we're hosting an event and then we have to turn someone away because of a dietary restriction. So we're being very mindful in this process.
Are y'all, in terms of like collaboration, what exactly are y'all looking for? Like, do y'all want folks to come who have nutrition programs or food access programs or whatever? Do y'all want them to come and vend at the event? Like, what is the collaborative piece? How can people collaborate with y'all?
So we are looking for all of the above. We are looking for organizations that have an education component to them so they can come and table and provide their information and resources. We are also looking for individuals, small businesses, and organizations to come and probably be able to provide their services. So if we have, so for an example, we did reach out to some of the birth workers and doulas in the community. Can you come and do a baby wearing session? Can you come and teach canning and preservatives? Can you just come and provide skills that you already have to the community? If not, can you donate some fresh fruits and vegetables? Can you donate some time and come prepare soup for us? Because we're making soup homemade. We're not buying soup from the store because we want to make sure that we understand what's being in these meals, as well as the preparation of the meal. So if you have time to come and donate, we do have a Amazon wish list for items like soup containers, bags for families to take the soup home so that it's insulated, utensils and stuff like that for families to utilize. If you can purchase things off our Amazon wish list, and that wish list is on both of our pages on Facebook, and also monetary donations, so that we can buy some of the stuff like some of the meats and some of the products and noodles and rice, things to put into the soups that we are preparing for the families. And we also want to be able to provide families with maybe gift cards. We do understand November is the beginning of the holiday season for a lot of us. And although some of us not might celebrate Thanksgiving, some of us do. So some families will be without a Thanksgiving dinner. So we would like to be able to purchase Thanksgiving dinners for families. Aldi's has a $40 Thanksgiving deal going on. And if we can give families $40 Aldi's gift cards, that will provide a meal for a family of, I think, 8 or 10. So that would be something that can sustain them through the holiday. So those are things we are asking for from people and organizations.
One more ask, and I know this seems small, but budget wise, it's not. If anybody has free printing services, so that way we're able to print materials and we're able to, like, I can print certain things at my place, where I'm at working, where I'm hosting my after school program, but we need large quantities. So, printing sometimes can eat up a lot of your budget. And right now we want every dollar that we can to go towards food and, that stuff. We also want to send them home with recipes and just different information, resources. Again, everybody's not tech savvy, so we can't just expect everyone to go on their phone. We're dealing with medically fragile people. We're dealing with elderly people, and tangible pieces of paper are really good for them. So if anybody has a resource where they know they can unlimited print, that would be awesome as well.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate that. And well, I'll say that at the end. What about Ebony and Jada? Do y'all have anything happening that can help moms to navigate this space?
So I'm just, soaking in all of the opportunities to collaborate and support. We don't have anything specific going on right now. We'll be surveying the moms in our program to understand kind of what their anticipated needs might be during the month of November, making sure to steer them to things in community, but also because we do home visiting, we are able to go to them. So I'm thinking about the folks who may not be able, who don't have transportation or can't get to events. Like, how do we address their needs? What are some localized ways in neighborhoods that we can be making sure that folks have an access point to get food and resources, maybe family centers and things like that. Certainly, I'm thinking, Brandy, we may be able to be that printing support resource, depending on what you mean by large quantity. But we're certainly, we certainly are here to help and figure out how to support what's already going on in community and not, trying to create something new or different, but really figuring out how to help our moms. Muffy, I really appreciated what you said at the beginning of, we are a nation that lives in the space of excess. And so I think that the solution does lie within our community. We have, when I think of Healthy Star as an organization that has a growing budget, that is those dollars that circulate are tools to help provide some additional resources, but they're also dollars that can be snatched at any time as well. And so really just wanting to funnel as many of those dollars as we can to support Black women who are creating solutions, but also really focusing on the solutions that lie within our communities. I'm also wondering if there is a way to partner with like 412 Food Rescue to have some real-time on-demand transfer of food resources from places where there are excess to places where we know that Black moms and babies may be without meals and things like that. So I think that could be, a partnership to try to pursue. I know when I did a little bit of volunteering with them, they always have like unclaimed food because somebody has to pick it up and get it from point A to B. So there's definitely a logistics challenge. And I'm also thinking about like within the Brown Mamas community, how many moms though, maybe it's a fewer segment of the community, but I'm sure there are some moms that could sponsor a family for a month, whatever that looks like. So just thinking outside the box in terms of how we tap into each other.
Right. And I think it's really important that we, more than likely, when we get off this meeting, we probably need to schedule a big meeting and just invite the people that we know and come up with, let everybody say their solutions and find out better ways. Like I said, this is a very eye level conversation and just wanted to really respond to y'all because sometimes I feel like it comes off tone deaf organizationally and also as a community of women and community leaders who support Black moms when we don't collectively address the community and just say, we're here, we know what's going on, we're working on solutions, we're trying our best, we're here. But thank you, Jada. Ebony, do you have anything, sis?
Yeah, I'm just taking it all in, just same as Jada said, thinking about ways to support with everything that's going on. But it just makes me think about what you said in the beginning, Muffy, about, us, being, resourceful people, right? We are all resourceful. As I look around and I'm just thinking about just this alone, when you contacted me earlier, I'm still in thoughts, right? Just trying to figure out like what's going on in our community, and I don't like panic. I think about why God called me into farming, and this it's particularly for moments like this, right? When I didn't know when moments like this was going to come up. I'm always about like having a plan in place, and I like coming together like this because I think that it's super important for us to have a plan in place so that we can help calm down the panic in our community, because when our community find out that there are resources, then it can help calm that down. So one of the things that we have been doing in our organization alone is creating a community asset map, just from the farm of where we are, and we plan to connect it north, south, east, and west. But just where we are here on the west, just mapping out all of the assets that we have in our community and making sure that, our community members know just those things, because when I was just going around asking people, they didn't even know what that was. It meant, so I looked at that as a need, even before all of this was coming in. I looked at that as a need for our community, just to be able to understand like what is actually in our communities, because we sometimes don't even know. And so I think that like keeping a laser focus on that right now is like kind of what's happening in our organization, so we can help share it for times like this, if we meet again, just so that we are identifying in our communities what our assets are, because I'm sure that I don't know them all, and making sure that they're shared. But also true to who I am as an educator and a grower. First and foremost, I'll think about like we have an ongoing growing hoop house that we can grow all year round. And so we've been growing, we have our fall crops in. It's not nearly enough to even feed our neighborhood, but it is certainly enough to keep things going and feed some people. So if we're thinking about any ways to come and help, if anybody have any volunteer hours to help keep this food safe and going and growing, I'm always looking for seeds and or seedlings to keep it going and growing. We want to make sure that I'm on the west, right? And so, and I partner all around the city, but right now our farm is on the west. And so I want to make sure that the most vulnerable right here in our community is taken care of. So thinking about our seniors and our children in our community, how we can do that. Also thinking about just some education sessions such as this, where I'm able to offer some quick growing tips, for people, and how to identify like some materials and resources. But also, although I'm a grower and an educator, I think about as a mom, or just when I have interns, right, and they show up to me, and the first thing they want is a snack. As soon as they get on site, that's the first, and they're coming from school and they coming from lunch. But the first thing they come, they're like, Miss Ebony, you got a snack for us, or at the end, do you have a snack? When I think about my kids who were latchkey kids, when they came home, the first thing they come home to is a snack. And so although I want our kids to have healthy vegetables, I'm gonna grow this food, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to make sure this food get pushed. I'm thinking about the snacks, the kids, in the community, a lot of kids literally, and this is me who's usually on like the veggies, like give them, I'm like, no, like a lot of our kids are going to, like I'm just thinking about like snacks, like literally, I mean, after school programs, latchkey
Yes.
kids, parents that can't make it home, don't make it home until after 6-7 o'clock to get dinner together. Like those kids survive off of a snack, even an after school program. So I don't know. I don't want to just, go all over the place. But again, I am just thankful to be, seeing a bunch of Black women trying to come up with some solutions for our community. So I'm going to get in wherever I can.
I wanted to say really quick about after school programs. They call after school meals the third meal, because a lot of times that's the last meal for kids. So, we're supposed to have 3 meals a day, and after school programs, we're usually able to offer a healthy, nutritious snack. We offer some sort of liquid, juice, or milk, and, depending on your program, a warm meal. CACFP is usually who funds those meals, or that funding. A lot of that funding is about to be cut regardless of what just happened, because it was in the
CFP. Some people don't know what that means, sis.
CACFP. I forget the full acronym, but basically it's like a sector of food money, or kind of just like food stamps and SNAP, but it's geared towards OST programs and after school programs. You can get summer programming meals. It covers certain things with elderly, but they're going to be cutting some of that funding, and that affects, like she said, all the after school programs. And that's a huge thing. Sometimes when kids leave school, their last meal is at lunchtime and they don't get another meal.
Just want to give the moms the breakdown. I just Googled it real quick. And
Thank you.
program of the USDA, and it's called the Child and Adult Care Food Program. So just be aware that that is something that may be affected. So go ahead.
Yes, thank you. But they do a lot of funding for after school programs, like I said, elderly programs, even like the summer cafe and things like that. Depending on where you're at, that money comes from that. And that's a huge problem because, again, most kids, their last meal, well, not most kids, some kids, their last meal is at lunch at school. So they're waiting for their next meal to be in the morning. And then think about Fridays. Fridays, their last meal is going to be at lunch if they don't go to an after school program. And those are usually the kids that are taken from share table. So they're taking, all the extra things that are left to put in their backpack to survive over the weekend. I'm really, scared for those kids as well. So because they're extremely food insecure, and cuts to CFCP are going to hurt just as much as SNAP, because again, if they can't fund those programs, where are these kids and where are these families getting additional nutrition from?
Thank you. I want to enter this in. While all these things are going to be a domino effect, some moms might be thinking, what is it that I can do? And sometimes I say a self inventory. When it's time to look at my budget, when it's time to look at my budget, or even like the capacity of what I can do for my home, and including another family or child when we sponsor kids towards the holidays and the beginning of school year. Every one of us in community can figure out, what do we have the capacity? Do we send an extra snack with our kids? Are we having the conversation? I had the conversation with after school kids today to say, hey, if we're all sitting at this table and one of you did not eat, how would that feel? That was very real to them. Like, what do you mean? You will give all them kids food and not me? I'm like, yeah, what if I didn't? And they were looking like, I will be hurt. I will be upset. I'm like, your classmate could be experiencing this. So it is an all hands on deck, educating everyone in their spirit influence. If you notice your friend never has a snack and you have an extra snack and your belly is not really rumbling, you have it because we have the extra snack, would it be hard to say, hey, here's my snack, or here's my extra orange that my mom packed me. Are you hungry? Teaching our children how to start young and where they're at, right? Or if you are connected to after school program, whether you work there, whether your kids go there, check in. Hey, can the parents send an extra snack or an extra bag of fruit? So if we all start doing smaller acts, it's a domino effect until we can get some type of structural plan. We can go back to our spirit influence and say, hey, my kids attend the YMCA, just an example. And I can every week send 2 bags of cutie oranges. Or, hey, I like to bake and I can make fresh bread and provide peanut butter and jelly. We can make some alternative sandwiches to send them. But we are strong and very resilient. Our community has done with less. Even the supplemental benefit is beautiful if you can get it, but it's still not all encompassing of our needs. They did a study long ago. I believe one adult and one child is $84,000 to live in Pittsburgh. That is what people should be making, houseway. And people aren't making that. So if we've already been making strides at doing certain things, we can take some inventory. It might not be as many options, right? But we can take some inventory ourselves and encourage others to be mindful of what we're consuming or not. Do you need the cookies? Do you need the dessert? You might want them, but okay, you know what? I'm gonna sacrifice and use my privilege and my position. Even if your privilege is only $20 more to add to someone else, it's still a lot. And say, I'm gonna buy a snack for someone else. Or if you have a membership, I know people will, no gatekeeping. People are like, hey, can I use your membership to get in so-and-so? They got a sale at Costco? Absolutely. Or there could be food sharing, right? I shared earlier with Muffy, you can buy a deer and just pay the processing fee because some hunter just likes to do it and still does it and doesn't want the meat. Not saying that you necessarily want to switch to deer meat, but you can probably partner with other moms and see, like, hey, Farmer Girl Eb got a shipment of potatoes from another farm and they're 20-pound bags. Who can help me break this down? And share the load. We are stronger together and we don't need anyone else to save us. We have seen that no one is coming to save us, even now. But if we keep something that's realistic and a mindset that's sustainable, regardless how the government moves or not, we'll start to create these micro agents of change within ourselves and our homes.
And if I could just add to that, and thank you for that. I certainly agree. You know, trying to find solutions, like you said, behavior changes, patterns, eating differently, and all of those things. Like that's great. It's super duper great, but I also feel like, we're kind of being pushed into like this corner, right? And people don't respond well to feeling like we're pushed into a corner. And so sometimes these things that we might try to put in place won't be long lasting, right? So trying to create things that are permanent, things that we can truly implement in our lives. And I know that we're in a crisis right now, and we got to think of some solutions right now, but just thinking about the longer term solutions lie in our education, and understanding how important it is to change the habits, not only to help our budgets, but to decrease our true social determinants of health, to increase our lifespan, to show, and so when we couple that with the education of understanding that not only is it important to structure our budgets to be able to live, but also when you eat locally in your community, not only is that access, but when you are getting food within the first 24, 48, 72 hours from a local farmer or garden, that's how you beat cancer or fight cancer or diabetes or cholesterol or all these diagnoses that they're putting on our children in these classrooms because it's connected to the food after so long that they didn't ate food that's not even grown. And I said there's no nutritional value, all the things. Please don't put me on the soapbox, I'm gonna stop talking. But my point is that coupling it with the education that's truly needed in our community for long lasting changes, beyond this crisis.
Agreed. Thank you so much, Ebony and Tamira, and everybody who's participated. I wanted to read some of the comments. I have a pickup truck and SUV, Nicole says, and she can help necessary deliveries when her schedule allows. Keisha says she has a restaurant depot car and she would love to bulk buy with some folks. Monica says, yes, we are, when Tamira was talking. So I want to just give y'all a call to action. And I think a call to action is really simple here, which is you have the means to communicate with your community today, right now, in the next 10 minutes. Can you send a text, post on Facebook, call your neighbor, and ask them, do they need something? Ask them, do they need something? Because the reality is, all of this is great, but like Tamira said, until you create relationship, there is no help. Nobody accepts help from people that they're not in relationship with. So the best thing we can do right now is to create relationship. Create relationship, deepen the relationships you already have by reaching out to your best friend, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, and saying, how can I help you? Do you need help? And broaden the relationships you have by texting, posting on social media, or taking some type of outward communication focus, because we don't have all the answers. That's just what's real. Like, organizations, community leaders, systems don't have all the answers. The answers lie within each one of us because we know how to help each other. So my call to action for y'all tonight, as we as community folks work in the background to figure out what are the best systematic things we can do, is to reach out to somebody and ask them if they need help. You already know who those people are in your life who need help. Some of them you want to talk to and some of them you don't want to talk to. But that does not mean you can't help them, right? So that is the call to action for tonight. One of the things that Brown Mamas is trying to do is just focus on transportation. How can we help moms to get to where they need to go? We posted a form in our Facebook group and we'll continue to post, but we also want to open up our communication portals for y'all. So if you have something that you want to share, we will send an email out for you. We will post it in our Facebook group and use that little @everyone tool that y'all hate. We're going to use it for good. So if you have something happening and you have a flyer, you have a graphic, you have a link that you would like us to share, we're happy to do that because we want to make sure that all the moms that are a part of our community get access to the information that they need. But the most important thing you can do right now is to just ask your neighbor if they need help. Because at the end of the day, we can't reach everybody. It don't matter how many emails or Facebook groups or, people we know that are higher up or lower up or middle up or whatever. We can't reach everybody, but you can. You can reach everybody. So we'll continue to post and we'll continue to communicate with y'all. I want to do this again. I want to do it again and again and again because I want to make sure that y'all know where y'all can go to get support. But also the help you're looking for is at the end of your own hand. We have resources, we have information, we got food banks, we got 412 food rescue, we got people putting on events, we have chefs, we have farmers. Pittsburgh is resource rich. Y'all hear people say this all the time. We have the resources. It's just a matter of sharing the resources and continuing to help each other. So get out of your ego, get out of your box. I'm in Pittsburgh right now. I live in Tampa half of the month. If I can come from Tampa and find somebody to help, then you can go outside your front door and go to your neighbor's house and find somebody to help or call somebody or whatever. So, yeah, let's help each other. Any last words, ladies?
Miss Nicole, I'm going to reach out to you for transportation because we're going to have about 200 containers of soup and I don't drive, so I need some help.
Muffy, I love what you said about each one of us. There's something each one of us can do to increase our reach and to build relationship. And at the same time, I don't want to discount the value of a concerted, organized effort. From being able to have a centralized place to receive information, to request help, and to even track and measure impact and trends and see what people are asking for. So, I think a both and approach where we are all committed individually to extend ourselves, but also being committed to supporting the Brown Mamas community in being a hub and putting out those calls for who needs what and like tracking it and then being able to match people or dispatch people or whatever that looks like. So definitely just want to underscore the both and approach of each one of us figuring out who in our sphere of influence we can support, but then also looking at the value of the concerted effort.
Agreed. We definitely need both. Both need to happen. So thank you for saying that, Jada. And Tamara said we're pinning items at the top of the Facebook page. So that's one of the things. If you're in the Brown Mamas group, Tamara is our community manager. That's number one. She be on it. She be knowing all the 5011 resources and she pins them at the top of the group. So please check there. If you're on your mobile device, you can't always see the top pin. You sometimes have to scroll all the way up and sometimes you gotta, Tamara, you want to tell them?
Yeah, so the cool thing in our group, we're one of the groups we have the search option, and each topic I try to go back and put what it is. So on the mobile, it's actually pretty cool. You can just search food or free or resources. It's going to pull together all the stuff that's been posted, and then you can scroll accordingly from bottom to top. We also, like I said, it's in the pin section at the top, but we also, excuse me, as we said, we'll have resources going out on a regular basis, and be mindful of, when posting, some people might not see it right away. Give it some time, comment under, engage a little bit, because there are over 7,000, but active at one time, there could be 3,000 to 4,000 moms, and try to give moms time. So that's why we were considering transportation, because some of the things are beautiful, but if I can't get to them, it's not helpful. it also adds stress to me that, hey, I really need to, but I can't afford to pay Uber or Lyft and get there. So if we work within ourselves to build that trust and rapport to where moms say, like, hey, I know so and so lives on the east side, they're willing to help me personally when they go to the store, I can go to the store. Or we can go to the distribution together, things like that. And so if there's any questions that you all have, please feel free to reach out. Sometimes I'm looking at my message, but give me at least a day to respond. It will get responded to. And then we want to filter. We don't want to create GoFundMe's, spam, Cash App. All of that gets flagged by Facebook most of the time, but I would decline it because what we don't want to start is moms coming in or just individuals saying, like, here's a link to buy X, Y, and Z, because we don't have that capacity to vet someone, and we don't better be responsible for it if someone doesn't follow through with what they say they're doing. And lastly, I would like to say is take care of yourselves. Compassion fatigue is so real. Rest is essential. It's not self-care. It's essential to our well-being. Ensure that you are putting your oxygen mask on yourself first, because then you can truly show up in the capacity that resonates the best with you and your mission and not on fumes. But before you extend your hand, make sure that you have rested or center yourself or have a plan. What can I really do? And then what is a stretch? Or what do I need, right? Maybe I need a reminder for someone to check in, like, hey, sis, have you taken a break? I noticed you did 3 distributions back to back. Or, hey, sis, you want to take a walk with me on Saturday? I saw you had a busy week. I'll come to you. But we can hold space for each other and hold each other accountable in a high regard while we're doing the work. But you can't lose yourself in the process of doing the work and supporting community, because no one can help you the way that you can help yourself.
That was real. Thank you, Tamara. So we'll continue to stay. We'll be here. We'll be around. Thank y'all for listening, and just sending everybody lots of love and light tonight. And make sure you love yourself and love your neighbor. Thank y'all. Thank you, ladies.
Ladies are
Thank
amazing.
you.
Thank you.
And good night, y'all.
Good
Peace.
night.
This was really nice.